Hello everybody, we are going to be sintering another knife blade in this video. This is just a cheap old-timer, I think they call this the old-timer pal. You can see the blade is rubbing show side liner. I've never messed with this steel on these old-timers. I don't buy these. This is the only one I've got, one of the new Chinese models, that's a regular knife. I do have one that's made for whittling, that I'll do a video on someday, and it's not put together well at all. But it's cheap. That's what they got going for them. But I'm going to sinter this blade and see how easy it is to do. Again, the way I go about it, and I'm no expert in this. Always do this at your own risk, because believe it or not, it's kind of, anytime you're going to be beating upon your blade with a hammer, it could be slightly dangerous. Put that down so we won't scar up the bolster. Then we'll, sorry about hitting the camera there. We'll put the knife blade at about a 90. And when we're looking at this, we want the blade to go to the pile side. Because of that, we are going to, when we open it up to the 90, we're going to lay it onto the show side. Because we want it to move toward the pile side, we are going to lay the knife on the show side, just like that. Now you're going to need a dowel rod of some sort. I'm using this wooden brush. Then you're going to need a hammer. I got a 4-pound dead blow hammer. Now when I tap this, I am not hitting it. I'm just kind of letting the hammer thump upon it, because this is a pretty heavy hammer. Again, this is not recommended. If you do this with a carbon steel blade, it'll snap the blade right off probably. But if it's a softer stainless, you can do this to adjust your blade sintering. I'm going to give it a few whacks. See if that did anything. You want to go slow. Why, looky there. That brought it over a lot, just a speck too much, as a matter of fact. Okay, so now we want to move it the other way. So now we're going to lay it like this. Give it a soft tap or two again. Get that setting right on there. There we go. See what that looks like. Why, looky there. That's almost down. I think that is right, perfect down the center. It might be leaning slightly toward the pile side. That is certainly good enough, but I'm going to give it one more whack just to do it here. See if we can get it good. Give it 2 more taps. Now take a look at it. You want to go slow. What'd you think about that? Right down the center? Right down the center. So the big question is then, is the pivot loose? And can you see the blade? Is the blade visibly bent? Tight as a drum. See? See if I can get that to focus. I'll wiggle it if I can get that to focus. You can see I got no play. Tight as it can be. Also, if you look at the blade itself, it's not visibly bent, see? Looks good and straight. There's nothing to see on the blade where it's been bent or anything. It just looks good. That's how I do it. Again, if you do this, you do it at your own risk. You might break your blade off or cause some other kind of damage. But that's how I sinter a blade, and that's a simple way to sinter one of these. Now, one thing to keep in mind is don't do this with a carbon steel blade, because it can snap off. I'm doing this with a cheap stainless blade. It's more flexible and pliable. Also, if the blade is thick blade stock, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And you can risk loosening up your bolster and having to repeen it, sand it down, buff it out, stuff like that. With cheaper stainless steel like this, and if you do the method properly, it's probably not a worry, but that's how I go about it. So, y'all out there, you have a good day. Keep your knives sharp.